Wood is saying, please, 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 actually really feel my presence. This is not a poetic metaphor. I'm a titan in spirit form. I am there this spring, standing tall and strong and lending you that strength and that courage to meet the new chapter. This is the new year. This is the beginning of the generation cycle. I am there with you, solid. Hello everyone, welcome to Elemental Seasons. I'm Dany Lyne, I'm an intuitive, and for the last 20 years I've been co-creating wellness and aligned manifestation with folks worldwide, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. In this series, I'm going to tap us into the primary elemental teacher and their very specific curriculum this season and this year. The more we're aware, the more we can integrate and activate elemental wisdom into our lives. Join my YouTube channel to get your elemental seasonal check-in. Good evening, good morning. Welcome to this spring episode and this wonderful opportunity to greet the vernal equinox and to greet the transition from a very spunky water spirit through the whole winter and moving into wood. I did have a bit of a download starting up this morning, so I have a sense of where we're going. I'm definitely channeling the spirit of wood as is expected in this particular context. And just for people who are new to this series, the language and the context we're referring to in terms of the elements is the traditional Chinese medicine wheel. And knowing that medicine wheels around the world are based on elements. The elements are the building blocks of life. It's what your body is made of. It's what all the plants and your whole environment, including the planets, are made of, and your house and everything. So its life itself is always expressing through these 5 elements. And so meeting the elements and the consciousness of the elements. They're not just an abstract thing, they are a consciousness. If you've tuned in here and there in the last few months, you've heard me constantly harp about the water element showing up as a river this year. Massive. We've had, lots of twists and turns. It's been a very active water element, and that is in all the years that I've been channeling and working with the elements. It was the most rambunctious water expression that I've seen in the last 15 years, just to give you a context in terms of, me checking into the pulse of it. And this rambunctiousness was very supportive in terms of growth and learning and putting stuff in our face that we need to see and be conscious of, and that we have the energy and the potential to transcend. And I'll start, the wood is coming in and wishes to speak. So let me tune in. So wood is saying, just to put it in the context, that it is receiving the baton gladly from the river in this particular form, in this particular pulse and rhythm. And wood is saying, it gives me an opportunity to show a different face of myself. Normally in early spring, we are cracking our bark. We go through massive, often uncomfortable growth. We've done that already. We've seen what needs to change. We've changed a lot of what needs to change, and some more changes are coming. But a lot of the big pieces have already moved that are in the ethos of the present moment and the potential of the present moment. And so wood is saying, now it's an amazing opportunity at this early spring to actually settle into me, the essence of me, the core of me, which is your sacred tree, your sacred treeness, as it's expressed in your trunk. And so landing in the trunk of your tree and experiencing the shelter within the wood element. You can imagine when your bark is cracking, you're not feeling very sheltered. So if the bark is not cracking, then we are experiencing a stability within the trunk and a refuge. The wood is welcoming us in its core, in its own womb. And when you drop into your sacred treeness, go to the base of your trunk, just where the roots meet the trunk. This is this beautiful transition between the underground world of the roots and the expression of life that is happening above the earth. Meet that point, that liminal point of transition. And wood is saying, in this refuge, there's a lot of energy. So in the same way that the Kundalini energy is coiled at the base of your spine, in the same way that your sap and the energy of the sap and the juice within the tree is also stored at the base of the trunk. This is the potency of life itself, and it's meeting the energy of life that inherently is thrilled to have an opportunity to live. So you're in a place of a refuge, but a refuge with lots of energy and joy and love and enthusiasm. And wood is saying, meet me there. Meet me there now. Meet me there when you're losing your shit at work or whatever. Meet me there when you're having a fantastic time in a park. Meet me there every morning when you wake up. I am there this spring, standing tall and strong and lending you that strength and that courage to meet the new, to meet the potential that is manifesting in you, to meet the new chapter. This is the new year. This is the beginning of the generation cycle. I am there with you, solid, strong, tall, full of dignity and love for life and love for you. Wood is saying, please, 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 actually really feel my presence. This is not a poetic metaphor. I'm a titan in spirit form. I am there to help you manifest your dreams, to live your genius, to express your potential, and as such, to help you and help all living beings. Spirit of Wood is saying, you're one of my fruit. Feel the seeds that live in your soul that come from this wood ethos, this wood spirit, this elemental spirit which brings on the cycle of spring, the new year, regeneration, and manifestation. So he's saying, because the river was in such a rambunctious mood this whole winter. I get to be really calm and solid, and you get to meet that part of me. And it is that part of me that is needed in you right now and is needed in the world. We need people with this base of the trunk really vibrant so that it sends the energy down through the roots deep in the earth so that you are solid. So that you're anchored in life itself, in truth, in loving kindness, in respect for all living beings, and in full respect, active respect of your genius as one of my fruit. And the queer people were going, we get to be fruits. Sorry, I just don't know. Yay, fruits. But we're all fruits today, so we get to join in that. And in this strength, in this powerful anchor deep into the earth, feel the sweetness of the sun. Feel the sweetness of the warmth of spring that is going in there and softening that energy so that it becomes more malleable. It can be understood as your Kundalini energy, as your sap, and allowing that to start making its way through to the surface of the earth. What is it in you that is ready to come to the surface? What has been underground and brewing and healing and assembling its pieces that is ready to come and meet the light and be greeted by the sun and express this year in this beautiful cycle of manifestation? This is where you meet your true self, the core self, the dignity, the genius in its purest form, the seeds, the fruit, the potential of all life. It's in you regardless of what you've been through, regardless of where you're at right now, where you might feel victimized, regardless of all of that. This energy is there, and also via this transmission is being connected, firmly connected to the spirit of wood in a more conscious way. Wood is there with you all the time, but the more conscious you are of this energy, the more you can align at a core level of your being of how life wants to live you and how life wants to live you in this generating cycle. The seeds that are stirring, right, and the blooms that it will emerge, and the baby fruit that will emerge, and the fruit, and later the harvest that will express in your own sacred tree. They're true to you. But the spirit of wood is saying it's also true to the time, to your place, and what is needed in the world. So it's yours, yes. It's you, yes. It's your own uniqueness. And yet you're uniquely you at specifically this time. And for some reason, it's a particular aspect of you that's coming out into the light and will be and have opportunities to express and live a very particular texture and expression of your gifts, of your genius, of your archetypes. It's perfectly timed with your own sequential narrative of your life, but it's also completely in sync with what is happening on the planet. We are all one organism interconnected into a dynamic expression of life. to be fully you right now will serve the world, will serve the people that need support, will serve the plants, the animals, whatever it is. In you are the seeds of harmony. You carry the seeds of harmony. And so you have an opportunity right now in this season to embrace, what does harmony in action look like for you right now? The Spirit would have saying, picture the fullness of your tree in full expression, and know that the environments you're in, there is space for that truth and that true self to emerge. What I'm seeing in a way is that's where the bark cracking is, which is super interesting. Rather than the bark cracking for you, like within yourself, to let yourself be you and grow your growth ring, we're being shown that this spring, it's like, how are you in the world and in your world and worlds? And there's a bit of bark cracking. Because you have ideas and you're stuck in very specific stories about those environments. And it's those stories and that concept of you in relationship to the world that is going to be changing this spring. There is space in the world for your true self. There is space in the world for your genius. There is space in all the contexts that you're in. And there's context to be discovered and to be nurtured. So there's space to grow within the environments you're in, and if there needs to be a little bit of cracking to allow that, right? If you're in a relationship, there might be some bark cracking in terms of how the other person perceives you, because you're just suddenly bigger. You're more there. And you're more you. So you're going to be like, he's showing me like you're going to be elbowing against your own assumptions and stories about, is there space in the world that can greet you, can greet all of you, welcome all of you, and create space for you and opportunity for you. And you're going to meet that also in others. And Wood is saying, don't be scared of that negotiation process and how the chips will fall accordingly. Being yourself feels big only because you've been taught that you need to be small and that you should be small. The big that you think is big is actually just the right size for you. And Wood is saying that because we have experienced months of this river and all the twists and turns of the river, this is going to feel like we have a lot of time here. Like Wood is saying, it's going to feel like you were together for a long time, right? This 3 month of spring, because we're already sort of 6 weeks in a way, we have double the amount of time to sort this particular aspect of the spring and wood energy. So you have time to get a bit lost and find me again. You have time to try something and go, okay, no, abort mission, that wasn't it, right? You have time, it's an exploration. And it's literally going to be like double the time before I hand over the baton to fire. So Wood is really encouraging you right now to feel that time, to feel the 3 months ahead, 1 week at a time. Yeah, there we go. And landing in one step at a time. We're not running, we're walking. When in doubt, come home to the womb of wood. Come home to the juncture between earth and sky. some of you love turtles and are in parts of the world where you see baby turtles needing the ocean and all of that, right? Wood says, think of me like, do your turtle act. Go back into the shell, right? Go out, do your exploration. But when in doubt, if you're feeling overwhelmed or lost, or if you've lost the plot, go back into the wood like you would a turtle going back into the shell. The wood has very systematic thinking, right? Wood is the place of strategy. It's the place of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That's why the wood wanted this sense of time. So embody that sense of time and the sense of one step at a time strategically. This step, and then that step, and then that other step. So the wood as a teacher is going to help you not get ahead of yourself and not run too far ahead, and that you realize at step 10 that you skipped step 4 and 5 and now it's a bit of a problem. So he says if you come back into this base of your trunk and you keep coming back to the wood womb, you will stay on track with your sequential strategy. And wood is saying, here comes one of my very high vibrations, patience. Patience. Patience and kindness are two of the very high vibrations of wood. So you're going to be patient and you're going to be kind, and you're not going to get into negative self-talk. Instead of hearing your talk, just come back to me and hear me talk, the wood is saying. Come back to the wood. Come back to the wisdom of the vibrations of wood, which then move into loving kindness and compassion. One other vibration is coming in as well is generosity. Is also part of this element. And so there's a sense here as you come back into the womb of your soul, into the womb of your tree, deep at the base of the trunk. This is where you're setting into motion the impulse of your harvest this year. And it's the perfect place in this womb to learn how to think about life and your activities as how they benefit you and others. So wood is saying, if you are at the depths of your trunk of your tree, connecting to the you and me energy, you have way more chances of aligning with your genius at its purest, and setting up a harvest that's not going to only help you, but will help heal the world and offer peace and joy in the world at large on a much broader scale. But if it's not here, right at the trunk of your tree, you're not going to be efficient in a broad sense in terms of creating change and making a difference, not only for you, but for others and all others, including plants and animals and what have you, mountains and rivers. It's so fascinating because I want to say this, when I'm meeting this energy, it's very strong. So it has a very yang feel to it. But the stillness that is being suggested as the base to come back to, that inspires the movement, is so powerfully yin. So what you're meeting at the base of your trunk is the juncture between the yin and the yang in perfect balance and harmony. All of this is playing out in you every day. This is just life itself. This is so much bigger than your sense of your personality or identity or stories of yourself. We're talking about being fully in alignment with an expression of life that is kind, that is patient, compassionate, generous, and as gorgeous and gorgeous and gorgeous as the beautiful trees around us. That power of your Kundalini energy at the base of your spine is the energy that fuels the Gandhis. That energy is in all of us, and it's a redefinition of greatness. It's meeting the greatness of this energy that is in you, and then deconstructing this idea that you have of you that doesn't include this energy, doesn't acknowledge this energy consciously. I can feel Ma roaming around, and I'm going to include Ma and see what she's swooping in about. Give me a sec, I gotta adjust. It's very different energy. So Ma is saying that what Wood is expressing is this fundamental expression of enthusiasm for others, loving a dog, loving, right? That expansiveness of your heart that embraces, the one that cares, the aspect of you that moves into nurturing, right? And she's saying that's, right, we're moving from the wood, we're going to the fire, we're going to the heart. And then it's going to go pow in a very different way. But what's down in that core of your spine, what's there at the core of your tree, is the energy that moves and is like creating a foundation for your heart expression to be large and powerful. And what we're fundamentally talking about is the foundation and of your heart song ecology. You're making decisions because you're manifesting from the yin to the yang, from the formless to the form. So strategically, you got stuff to do, right, to create the context in which this whole heart song will express. And she's saying, just like building a house, right? You build a good solid foundation first, then the house comes, then the life in the house blossoms. And she's saying that foundation that Wood is talking about is internal and external. There's infrastructure going on, the building of infrastructure, the exploration of new opportunities for infrastructure, for an expression of self to emerge, and for that heart song to express. So she's bringing in the energy of the architect and the engineer. Like the building will have to follow certain rules to be able to stand up. And she's saying she so agrees, and in honor of Lynn Twist, I so admire that woman. She says, yes, it is here that we embrace fully the you and me world. And she says, for all the support that you're going to get from the spirit of Wood, because like all the other elements this year, right, in the last year, they're coming in really strong. And she says, I'm here, I'm coming in strong. Your gurus, all your trustworthy teachers are coming in strong. We are busy. We're there and we're there for you. You're not alone, and call on us. Remember us. We're not just ideas. We're real. And we love you, and we're going to help you in any way that we can, but you got to be open to us to receive our help in really tangible ways. So Ma and Wood are standing together. I'm receiving both at once. They are both so grateful for the opportunity to have this beautiful transmission and conversation and meeting of your spirits. Thank you for your open hearts. They're so chuffed at the opportunity to speak and at the opportunity to convey, and to all those who are here in the circle and to all those who will tune in. Know that this recording will hold the vibration. If you forget, come back to this and it will plug in again if you feel you got unplugged somehow. And thank you, Spirit of Wood. Thank you, Ma. And thank you to all of you for being here live. Without you, the transmission can't occur. So I really appreciate you lending your energy to co-create the moment. And just thank you for the opportunity in general to be in this phone line position that I get to be in. I'm very grateful. Thank you.